We have got Champion, Pathfinder, and Raider announcements. So let's go over those. What do we have here? 15 evasion, 14 melee damage while you have Fortify. Those are pretty much the same, right? Oh, you actually don't get the ailment. Oh, that's an interesting decision. Huh. 10 attacks while you have Fortify, 30 armor and evasion while you have Fortify, 30 increased melee damage while you have Fortify. Pretty sure that's... Oh wait, what am I saying? Jesus, this is the old one, this is the new one. I'm looking at it wrong, excuse me. Okay, so it's good that they added this, excuse me. I don't know why, I was like, wait, this seems the same as it was before. Alright, so Unstoppable Hero is the new one, and it's 10% attack speed while you have Fortify, 30% melee damage while you have Fortify. Cannot be stunned while you have Fortify. Wow. Significant. And 1000 armor and evasion rating while you have Fortify. I would imagine that's also scalable. Unstoppable Hero is nuts. Yeah. It's pretty nuts. But yeah, thank you again. And Unstoppable Force is fucking nuts. This is crazy. I can't believe this is a 2-pointer, you know? Incredibly powerful. Incredibly powerful. They fixed that, and Fortitude, you have Fortify. This kind of looks measly at this point. I mean, I understand that this is always a good thing to have, right? Because you do have situations where sometimes you even die to the environment because you didn't have anything to proc your Fortify off of. But let's get real, like stuff like this, it's probably even worth it to pick up all those notes on the skill tree that like boost up Fortify, since those nodes were never bad. They were just kind of whatever. Okay, so you've got this. First to strike, last to fall. Your hits permanently intimidate enemies that are on full life. Permanently intimidate? Wow. Yeah, you can also use a range class, sure. If you want to play with a bow, hell yeah. Although the melee damage, but that's not much of an increase. I know a lot of people use this for like supports and stuff like that, but I think classes, like, in their pursuit of specifying like what a certain class is very powerful at, I think it will make it a lot more obvious and less like, you know, cursed champion. Like things will be like, for instance, melee Pathfinder. I guess Pathfinder's pretty neutral. I don't know, like bow slayer, right? Like that's kinda, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but then with the new clarifications, I'm sure it will be a lot more obvious to play Deadeye with the bow, right? So I don't really anticipate there to be too many like bow dudes, but maybe somehow you can't generate Fortify. I don't know. Let's read up on the rest. It's pretty crazy that they make it Intimidate that is permanent. It's really interesting. Adrenaline. Oh, there you go. See, told you guys everybody's gonna have like a specific thing. Gain Adrenaline for 20 seconds when you've reached low life if you do not have Adrenaline. Adrenaline grants 100% increased damage, 25 increased attack, cast and movement speed, and 10% additional physical damage reduction. Remove all ailments and burning when you gain Adrenaline. Gain Adrenaline for 20 seconds when you reach low life. So you can't really play low life. This has to be like an active thing unless you are just above low life, and then possibly use a flask or something to bring you down below low life, right? So I guess you would have to have like an extra mechanic on top of it rather than just being low life at all times, right? But that's kind of limiting too, because at that point, I mean, you can have sources of like life regeneration. Because if you leech, you want to have the leech on energy shield. If you regen, you want to have it on energy shield. What could you use? You could use like life gain on hit. Life gain on hit would be the most optimal thing to do here. So basically you would bring yourself below with like potentially a mana flask or a dodge raise or blood magic, whatever, and then you would life gain on hit that HP back up, Yeah, so it's a little bit extra to worry about, but it doesn't seem that that bad. Remove all ailments and burning when you gain adrenaline. I mean, depending on how dependable you can make your setup, that can be really insane. Can you have it that consistently? I mean, if you can have it really consistently if you have life regen. Not so much with life gain on hit or leech, really. So, because you would be primarily doing this with attacks too. And I mean, unless ES is buffed, it's kind of rough to play a champion that's low life. Yeah, but that's incredibly unique. I mean, if you can make it work, if you can make Unstoppable Hero work alongside First to Strike, Last to Fall, that's some fucking firepower, you know? Because especially for a melee character, you gain so much from being able to use unique flasks so that you don't have to use, you know, shock removal, freeze removal. It's a big deal because you've got like Lion's Roar, you've got Aziri's Promise, you've got Taste of Hate. Those are all super powerful. You and nearby allies deal 35 increased damage. You and nearby allies have 12% movement speed. Sure, I wish this was a little bit more powerful, honestly. Conqueror, 100% chance to taunt on hit. 6% reduced damage taken if you've taunted an enemy recently. 2% of life regenerated per second if you've taunted an enemy recently. Enemies taunted by you deal 10% less damage with hits and ailments against other targets. Okay. Interesting. So this is like, I guess for like bow curse supports, like really old school bow curse supports. I mean, it's pretty powerful. You're reducing enemies' damage by a lot. 20%, right? Yeah, because it's the taunt effect and this. So not only are the mobs not attacking them, but also if they do, it's 20% less damage. It's an interesting point. I wonder how much people will utilize this. Not really like shockingly overpowered at all, I think. Enemies you taunt take 20%. I mean, it is kind of crazy that it's flat damage, to be honest. Like if you, for instance, were to have a Guardian as something that deals a lot of damage and a Curse support champion, like most bosses in the game won't be dealing any freaking damage, right? So, yeah. Also, enemies you taunt take 20% increased damage. Wow. Enemies taunted by you cannot evade attacks. Wow. Okay. Yeah, so you essentially make a decision between support, because like you don't even have to have this. Even if you were to do bow, like you can just take this and this for support. Or if you're playing by yourself. That's kind of tough, actually. Because First to Strike, well, First to Strike is very unique. So I guess if you were to solo, you would still build around Wardy Foe. And actually, I would probably take Unstoppable Force, Conqueror, Wardy Foe, and Inspirational. If I'm support, then I do Conqueror, Wardy Foe, Inspirational, and Unstoppable Hero. And then in certain situations, you'd probably end up with First to Strike, Unstoppable Hero, and probably Wardy Foe, yeah. Yeah, but if you can make First to Strike work, damn, doggy dog. Champion's looking solid. Really cool stuff. This is definitely the coolest change I've seen so far, I think, for any class, because they've taken into account meta, they've taken into account like Champion's past endeavors, and it's not just power creep, it's cool. I like that. I like Champion's design the most, I think, so far out of all the classes that I've seen. Alright, Pathfinder, because Champion took forever. Master Herbalist, 20% increased damage with poison, 20% increased poison duration, 30% To cast resistance during any fast, 60% chance to poison. Okay. Nature's Adrenaline, what are these? These are the same, right? Yeah. Nature's Adrenaline. That's the same. They didn't change anything with this? I thought if anything they're gonna change this. Flask has duration. 5% increased flask effect. Master Surgeon. 30% increased life recovered from flask. Removes bleeding. Wait, they didn't change Master Surgeon at all? I was kind of hoping for a Master Surgeon rework. Okay, so if they didn't change this, they didn't change anything else. It's pretty obvious, I think. I like skimmed through this before, but I thought it had more... yeah, this is the same. I mean, it's pretty obvious, like... Okay, so it's... 2%. Okay. And change this. And this is the same too. So the only thing they changed is 2% on Nature's Boon. This is totally reasonable. I think this part, totally reasonable. This? I kind of wish they changed Master Surgeon, honestly. Was this ever really being picked up? Also gain 3 flash charges? What? Gain 3 charges. Oh, instead of 1? Okay. Yeah, it's really not a factor at all. You're playing Pathfinder. So that doesn't really matter. It's literally the 2%. I mean, I guess it kind of matters. Not really, no. It really doesn't. Like, for some boss fights, maybe. But it's a matter of, like, your boss. Like, how powerful your character is. Like, the more powerful your character is, the less likely for this is to be good. So it's like, yeah. Saddest rework? Honestly, I agree with this. I'd be surprised if they did anything with this stuff here. I'm kind of surprised that they yeah did something with Nature's Burn rather than Master Surgeon. Yeah, I don't know, but I agree with this. Yeah. Okay, Raider. 15% increased evasion, 10% increased 20% chance to gain a frenzy on kill. This is the same, right? Yeah. This is also the same. Avatar Slaughter. This seems weaker. Oh no, it's the same. Am I missing something? Increased movement speed, increased attack speed. Oh. They didn't nerf it? Okay, if they didn't nerf this, then I expect kind of a big buff to... Well, not necessarily a big buff, but a buff to Onslaught, a little bit. Right, just to keep this in line. 6% chance to dodge attacks. You have phasing while you are at maximum frenzy charges. You have phasing while you have Onslaught. Gain phasing for 4 seconds on kill. That seems the same. Yeah. Avatar of the Veil. Oh! They did nerf it. Okay, yeah. I was like, wait, they didn't nerf Avatar of the Veil? They nerfed the 10% movement speed while phasing. Okay. Immune to elemental elements while phasing. Yeah, all of this is the same. 3 to 4 from 3 to 4 seconds? Wait, on what? Woo? Where? Oh, gain phasing? They increased it? Yeah, but I don't feel like this was ever a big deal. Because you always have maximum frenzy charges, so it's like, whatever. I guess it's supposed to interact better with the Onslaught. I'm expecting big things now. Wait, just so we get the thing. Rapid Assault. 20% increased attack damage. 10% chance to gain Onslaught for 10 seconds when you hit a rare or unique enemy. Gain Onslaught for 10 seconds on kill. Nice! That's that shit I do like. Okay, yeah, I'm fine. Then that's fine. I don't need any more buffs. Anything else they changed? 100% onslaught effect, attack damage during onslaught, 25% more chance to evade melee attacks during onslaught. 25. So this is the same? Oh, they buffed up chance to evade projectiles. Wow. Okay. Huh. I guess I had two things. I'm surprised they buffed up evasion. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense, but I don't know. That's pretty significant. I kind of was hoping that they're gonna make the 20% increased attack damage as just 20% increased damage, but that's whatever. I am happy they nerfed Avatar of the Veil a little bit. Makes it so that like it's more obvious for certain picks between like Pathfinder and Raider. I'm extremely happy about the change to Rapid Assault. I mean, it's basically a choice between movement speed, and attack damage, right? In which case, everybody would always choose attack damage. One change equals revamped. I'm very happy about this. I think it's great that the classes that don't need a lot of changes are powerful. I think GGG recognized that power came from like targeting specific meta choices in terms of skill gems and all that sort of stuff. So to see that they don't fuck with this kind of stuff too much, I'm happy with that. In the case of Raider though, I am a little bit afraid that it's like basically what it's gonna be right now is you go Avatar of the Chase for Zoom Zoom, or you go Pathfinder. I see few situations where Avatar of the Slaughter would be the smarter choice. I suppose the big thing right now is what the hell did they do with Inquisitor? Because like previously, that's kind of for like a lot of the Zoom Zoomy build, that's kind of what it boiled down to. Pathfinder, Raider, or Inquisitor. So I think Inquisitor is going to be still very powerful, either unchanged or maybe even buffed up. Slight nerf, incredibly slight nerfs. But yeah, speaking of one of those uniques, we've got one here, which is Atziri's Mirror, which turns into Atziri's Reflection, which is 52 intelligence. It's a shield, obviously. It's 52 intelligence. It's pretty high evasion. It's 1000 evasion, qualityed up. It's got 220 energy shield. Those numbers obviously probably go higher. 23 to all resistance, curse reflection, unaffected by curses, 16% increased effect of your curses. Oh. Unaffected by curses, 16% increased effect of your curses. It's pretty okay. It's kind of weird. Because unaffected by curses is a pretty big deal. Like actually a pretty freaking big deal. It's also got a substantial amount of energy shield, it's got a substantial amount of evasion, it's got intelligence on it, that's really helpful. Obviously resistances, no HP, but we can live without that. And 16% increased effective curses, we can only assume that it goes up to 20, which is also pretty fucking strong. I mean, if you were to compare it, it's basically the worth of HP nodes on a shield. Because if you were to compare it with the skill tree, then yeah, it's, you know, about 4 or 5 HP nodes, which should be about the amount of life that you're going to be getting off of a shield. And the big thing is unaffected by curses, which means that you can carry possibly another unique flask. And that's pretty powerful. Look at how you get it. You will defeat Atziri, Queen of the Vault, and the Alluring Abyss while holding Atziri's Mirror. Ah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, sure. Pretty powerful. Yeah, you can use things like, well, it depends, because it says unaffected by curses, but does it mean that the effect doesn't affect you, but you still have the curse applied to you, or does it mean that a curse cannot apply to you? I would imagine if it would mean the curse cannot apply to you, it would say immune to curses, but unaffected seems like you will still be cursed, but it will simply not act as a debuff. And yeah, that's this shield will see some use for sure. I mean, Obviously, yeah, Soul Mantle comes to mind. Depending on how the Ascendancy classes turn out, that might be this might be an option. Because for a lot of those builds, also you're going to be using like double curse, for instance, or you're going MOM, or you're, you know, sticking something into a ring. It's pretty good.
Can beasts be traded? Yes. Once captured, they can be transferred into an item that can be traded with other players using existing safe trading methods.
Okay, so you can trade the beasts, but you can't have other people do the beast fights for you? Is that what I'm getting? What about like supports and stuff? Can you group up for the beasts? I hope they answered this. It's weird that you can trade them. The fuck?
Can I visit other people's menageries? Yes. You can party up, enter someone's menagerie and engage in beast crafting or endgame spirit beast encounters together.
Wait, but they said that you can't get fucking carried through this stuff, so you can after all. That was just total bullshit. You can trade them, and you can get carried through the encounters, man. Oh, boy. Alright, real quick, I guess. Breach item. That's fucking crazy. Yeah, exactly. That's the problem with divination cards. If we don't know how they drop, it's like in the past. The Sun card! You can get a Rise of the Phoenix now. Wow, guys, that's such an amazing release. You can, like... If you're playing SSF, you can farm up a Rise of the Phoenix and play Righteous Fire now. You can play Righteous Fire with anything now, but in the past you really needed a Rise of the Phoenix. And it's like, yeah, well, guess what? Go fuck yourself, because you're gonna spend 12 hours to drop a single card, and that's probably not gonna happen either. But overall, yeah, if this is like accessible and it's cool. Belt of the Deceiver, whatever. The Harvest. Okay, that's cool. I like that. I like the art more than anything. I like the art here too. Breedstone. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, I think they probably. I mean, yeah, Breach might be going bye-bye. That's cool. I like this. If it's accessible, please SSF BTW. 5 Breachstone Splinters. Yikes. Starforge. I love the art actually. There's a Starforge card. Uncorrupted, nothing. Wow. I think if they added a Starforge card, it would be corrupted, but guess it's gonna be really rare. Elrion's Jewelry. Item level 85. Wow, that's really good too. I like it. I like it. I like it. Balefire. The fuck is that? The fuck is this? Grants level 25 Scorching Ray skill. 20% increased cast speed. Recover 1 to 3 of maximum life on kill. Increase Scorching Ray beam length. Nani? I didn't even know this was in the game. Yeah, overall, I think great changes. Or lack of changes. I think they went far and beyond when it comes to the Ascendancy stuff. They figured out a lot of shit that I agree with. And I would hope that in the future, with the other changes, they go about in a similar way to what they did with these changes with the champion, especially, as opposite to what they did in the previous set of changes, which was power creep, power creep, power creep. Because you can still have powerful things, you just gotta put them in perspective with other things. And they approach that a lot better, I think, with these changes. But yeah, Inquisitor. Inquisitor is going to be the breakpoint. Because Slayer, again, Slayer is just Leech. Inquisitor, we gotta know about the Inquisitor, and then we're gonna make a... I think we can at that point make a total judgment. I mean, I guess Necromancer too. I do have a little bit of a fear that they will completely fuck up Necromancer, but... maybe not. I mean, considering what they did with Pathfinder... I think Spectre. I think they're not gonna nerf Spectres. They're gonna nerf the Spectre node to like 50% and 50%, probably. And I think they're probably gonna buff up Beacon a little bit. And they're probably gonna buff up Soul Eater a little bit. And they're probably gonna nerf the Self-Flesh Offering to like only 50% of it applies to you. Something like that. I would imagine.